Rather Good Coaching presents.
Hello, I'm Karen Adams of Rather Good Limited, and today I want to talk to you about confirmation bias. And I also want to tell you about how we can use that confirmation bias for the power of good. You've probably heard of confirmation bias already. It's the thing where when we expect to see something, we tend to see more of it. Primarily because we program our brain to look for it. Another thing with confirmation bias in the modern world with the internet and social media is that the algorithms on search engines and on social media websites, Facebook, TikTok, all of those, they provide us more of what we look at. So when we tend to look for certain things and we spend more time looking at certain things, the algorithm gives us more of those things to look at. When we search for something on Google and we ask a particular question, we may unintentionally have a certain bias in how we write that question. So sometimes it's worth adding the word myth after we've asked that question to have a look at what the opposing view might be. Personally, I have actually found that quite useful. Give it a shot. Anyway, our own brain definitely has a confirmation bias thing going on. When we expect to see something, we do see more of it. If we have a red car, for example, suddenly everyone has a red car. If your mum suddenly buys a particular sort of necklace, suddenly everyone's wearing them. If your friend gets a German Shepherd, suddenly everyone has a German Shepherd. It's just how the world goes. You see more of what you expect to see, or more of what you're familiar with. The advantage is we can program our brain to see different things. This is where things like gratitude comes in. We find things that we're grateful for in any particular situation, and we look for the good, which means we tend to see more of the good. And the more good things we see, the more good things we have to enjoy, and the more we find good things that we can enjoy to bring into our lives. It's actually quite a nice self-fulfilling prophecy and well worth working on. And the best part is, you can use that confirmation bias to sort of power you along that road. By noticing what's good in a situation and what you enjoyed about something, what you're grateful for in a particular set of circumstances, even if it doesn't initially look good. To know that and to use that, you use that confirmation bias of seeing more things to be grateful for to move forward. I personally found it tremendously useful. Even recently, I wound up at an event that was, well, I had mixed feelings about, even as I left. I'd had some great conversations. There'd been a really interesting lecture, but also I didn't feel like I particularly achieved much. It was a bit weird. I didn't have any contacts at the end of it, and I wasn't altogether sure how I felt about it. So I reminded myself to think about what was good about it. The first step was celebrating the fact that I went at all, because I was kind of disposed not to bother. But I did go, so well done me for actually making the effort and actually going. And then to focus on the things that I did enjoy. The fact that I had some nice conversations with people, rather than the fact that sometimes I didn't make a great showing of what I was saying. The fact that I had enjoyed and found interesting several things about the talk, even though some of the presentations weren't quite as magnetic as I might have been hoping them to be. And that way I was able to get more out of the experience. The experience itself didn't change. The fact that I'd already gone through the whole thing didn't suddenly miraculously make it better, but it did enable me to find what was useful in that situation, to be grateful for the things I did gain in that situation, and to use that to move forward. It also means I'll find it easier to go to an event like that in the future, because I turned having been to that event into a more positive experience. So try it out yourself. Let me know how you get on, stick it in the comments below, or contact me at rathergoodcoaching.com. Take care. Cheerio!